7:10 is the time, and we welcome you to another COVID-19 health discussion. We want to say a special good morning to the listeners of DBS Radio, Kyrie FM, of Q95, of Vibes Radio, and also of Voice of Life Radio. This morning's program, we have with us the nutritionist, the national nutritionist, Miss Carissa Shillingford, and later on in the program, we will be joined by the Deputy Director of the Dominica Social Security, Augustus Etienne. So again, Mr. Etienne will be joining us later on in the program, but we will begin the program with the nutritionist, Carissa Shillingford. Good morning to you, Miss Shillingford.
Good morning, Miss Harry.
And how are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Very good. Now, of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic going around, we've been doing a lot of education for the public, advising them on what they should and shouldn't do. And one of the things that we advise them on is what they should and shouldn't ingest as well. So that is where you come in. So let's start first of all with probably one of the top things that we've been promoting is hydration. And so let's discuss why is it important for us to drink a lot of water, not juice or beer or any other form of alcohol, but water specifically. Let's start with that. Why is that important?
Okay. So hydration is important, especially when just dealing with the simple, especially when just doing with dealing with the ordinary flu. It's important that you stay hydrated, and that will help in your recovery during the time that you have the flu, because as you take in sufficient water and you're hydrated, it helps to loosen up the mucus, and you're able to get rid of that virus from your body. And then you have the mere fact that if your body becomes dehydrated during the time that you have the flu, you'll find that you have your nasal cavity start forming tiny cracks, which allowed for entrance of the virus into your body faster and easier.
Now, we're talking about drinks and ingesting beverages. We're talking water. But a lot of people say, okay, so why can't I drink alcohol? What difference does it make? Why should we abstain from excessive consumption of alcohol around this time?
I mean, alcohol on a whole, with its links to non-communicable disease, is says no to that, because just the excessive consumption and the side effect of alcohol on one's body can create problem even for simply just recovery, helping your body to recover from the flu, because the very nutrients that you take in, that your body needs to fight off an infection, the alcohol either destroys it or prevent the absorption of that particular nutrient. So therefore, alcohol consumption is not something that should be encouraged during the time that a person is suffering from the flu.
So, so what we're saying is when we encourage the use of alcohol, we're not talking about alcoholic beverages. Everybody seems to think when they say use alcohol to do this and use alcohol to do that, that alcoholic beverages is what's being referred to. But you're saying that's not it.
That's not it.
All right.
We drink water.
Drink water. So we're promoting, and we do that all the time throughout the year. It's not just because of this COVID-19 pandemic. We throughout the year we say we make water your drink of choice because that's what we've been encouraging. So we're telling people not alcohol, the juice. If you want fruits and vitamins, let's talk about that instead of having juice. What should you be doing?
Okay, so I mean, you to some extent you use your fruits to make your juice, but we know that when you use the fruits to make juice, that some of the nutrients is lost, the fiber that the body itself needs is lost. So for persons with the flu, we normally encourage you drink your liquid, your soup, your tea, but tea that doesn't have caffeine in it, as well as coffee is a drink that a person is not supposed to take while they have the flu, because it makes them become dehydrated. But back to our fruits and vegetables. I mean, for before COVID, we have all been hearing about the importance of eating our fruits and our vegetables. And we say that fruits and vegetables is the most important part of your meal because they are the ones that help to protect you and help you to fight against any infection or any disease. And you get your vitamins and minerals, and these are key elements in the body just processing whatever food that you take in.
All right, pretty soon we'll be opening the phone lines, of course, to the callers. The numbers, you can take note of them: 1 800 327 616 1327, 448 3284, and the overseas line is 305 432 9744. Again, we're being joined this morning by the nutritionist, Carissa Shillingfoot. Now, let's stick with the diet. What else are you promoting that people eat or people take in during this time, especially to boost the immune system?
Well, you can also boost your immune system using protein. And when we say protein, we're looking at your meat and all meat products. You're talking chicken, eggs, you're eating your legumes, your peas and beans. That gives you the protein that your body needs, and we know that protein is a very important for the formation of the your white blood cells, for the antibodies that helps to fight off an infection. So therefore I know we eat a lot, we take in a lot of meat, in that persons don't want to eat just a drumstick or a thigh. They want both drumstick and thigh. So I figure we have sufficient protein. I'm not asking you to go and eat three, four pieces of chicken, but at least you know that you are getting that protein which helps to build your body and to give you the antibodies that you need to fight off an infection.
Now, so portioning is also very important though, because like you said, it's not a matter of filling your plate with just protein, but we always encourage well balanced meals as well.
Yes, you always eat a wide variety of food, and we have 6 food groups. So we advise that you eat from all 6 food groups, and but we promote a larger consumption of fruits and vegetables. I mean, whenever you eat, you just need basically 1 ounce of meat per meal. So if you're having breakfast, lunch, dinner, it is just 1 ounce. And most times you take in a chicken, it's like 3 to 4 ounces of meat that you would have taken in.
And lately we've heard a lot about this thing called probiotics that we need to ingest when we take in things like yogurt. What are probiotics and why are they even useful?
We have probiotics, and when we talk probiotic, we're looking at yogurt from from milk, and in the process you have bacteria being formed, or live bacteria being used to form that yogurt. And the probiotic, which is basically just good bacteria that the body needs to develop, to promote proper gut health. And I know that persons will say, well, yes, they are eating yogurt and they're always having the yogurt, but for the yogurt to be as effective, it must be a probiotic yogurt or Greek, and then it must have a certain amount of live culture, meaning the bacteria, bacillus, forget the name, but you need that bacteria in there and a certain amount. So it must be like about 1 billion live culture within that yogurt for you to be able to get the amount to help you fight against an infection or just simply the flu.
All right, so let's open the phone lines if you have any questions or comments for the nutritionist. Again, the numbers to call 448 3284 1 800 327 616 1327 and the overseas line 305 432 9744. We're joined by the national nutritionist, Carissa Shillingford, and we're talking about how to boost our immune systems. What can we eat? What should be part of our diet? And what should we stay away from? And again, the phone lines are open. But besides what we eat, what other recommendations can you make? Like, for instance, exercise. A lot of people say when they have the flu, they don't have the energy. They don't even want to get out of bed. What are your recommendations as far as rest and exercise are concerned?
Okay. So exercise is something that, or physical activity is something that we have always been speaking about. It helps in the prevention of non-communicable disease. It helps you to be able to have a better life. But we simply know that exercising helps to boost the immune system. Now, when you have a flu, you go through different symptoms. So sometimes your symptoms might be mild, nothing, a little sneeze, a little cough now and again. But if you have like headache, fever, we won't advise you to be out there saying that you're going to exercise or that will help you to fight off the flu. No, we ask that you get sufficient rest, because it's when you rest your body is able to recover, to recuperate from whatever damage that have been done from the daily activity or from the virus or infection itself. So resting is important. Whereas exercise, I mean, if you are out there, you don't have the flu, you don't have any ailment that prevent you from doing exercise, you should be doing that every day for 30 minutes or 60 minutes daily, and that will help to boost your immune system and help you to fight off any infection.
So the old adage where you sweat off the fever, you sweat it off. Is that really something that we should be encouraging?
But medically, yes, they use the cold water compressor to help the person get rid of the fever. But at the end of the day, if you have a fever, that just says that your body is there fighting with the infection, and what you need more to is to be able to even take in more water to help to cool down your temperature, and to think not to exert more force or pressure on the body during that time.
Okay. And what about supplements? We're talking about the vitamins, but how effective are supplements where if you cannot, perhaps you don't have as much access to the fruits and vegetables?
Okay. So supplements, and I do not outright rightly recommend supplements, because what we are encourage is for persons to eat healthy. Eat your fruits, eat your vegetables, and you get the amount of vitamins and minerals that you need. But in the case and using a simple guideline of taking 3 servings of fruits daily and 5 servings of vegetable daily, if you know you are not taking in that amount, then I could suggest to you that you get a supplement, which is a multivitamin. You get that at the pharmacy. You get that at the pharmacy, and you look to see what at the back or on the label, what vitamins, what minerals that are available. And I would say look for vitamins A, C, and E, and these are the key vitamins that you need in your body for that to be able to fight off, and as antioxidants to be able to fight off any infection. But that vitamin C, E, and A, when you read the label, you will see something says about daily value, and that should be at 100%. And even if you can get one at 150%, then that would be better and greater for you.
Okay, and as we're talking about labels, we always we encourage people to pay very close attention to their labels. What about taking in large consumption of sugar? We know that's never good, but even now where we're all trying to stay healthy and boost the immune system, what about sugar and the
Okay.
intake of sugar?
So in the line of sugar, we when you look at sugar, first of all, your body don't really need the amount of sugar that we put into it, and the sugar itself is one of the things that suppresses your immune system. So therefore, an excessive consumption of carbonated drinks or foods that are rich in sugar is a no-no, because that suppresses your immune system. It confuses actually your immune system, that it no longer recognizes the simple thing as a bacteria or a virus as something strange. It sees the sugar now as something strange, or the fast foods. So therefore, sugar should not be taken in any large amount or in any excessive amount. And even as we talk about sugar, for the persons that are diabetic, if you are getting a supplement, you have to be careful what that you take. You need to consult with your doctor to ensure that the supplement doesn't have sugar in it that can easily cause your blood sugar to rise. So we have to exercise caution even in the purchasing of a supplement, for especially for diabetics.
But sometimes we look at the labels and they say no added sugar to it. There are even supplements that say no added sugar. Can we trust that?
Well, if the label is saying no added sugar, that means that they did not add any, if it's natural. If it is natural, it's saying they have no added sugar. But most times a product contains sugar, because sugar is used as a preservative in most products. So even when they say there's no added sugar, there is sugar, because it is used as a preservative as well, and to give that extra taste.
All right, we have our first caller on the line. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Yes, good morning and good morning to your listeners and your guests.
Thank you. Morning.
Good
Uh,
morning.
I have a question in terms of the use of bee propolis. to enhance your immune system. I don't know whether anybody can enlighten or cast some things on that. I understand that the bee propolis, which the bees use to sterilize their hives, and we know that no bacteria or virus or anything grows in the hive. So I'm wondering if it is true that the bee propolis could
I'm not
help.
clear on your question, sir.
Um, well, the question is whether anyone is aware or whether anyone could confirm whether the bee propolis is effective in enhancing your immune system, which basically guards you against attacks of any kind.
Okay, I'm not clear on the topic that you are trying to bring across, sir. So
Hmm.
I don't think I'll be of any help.
Okay, so we can always look into that for you, sir, on that question, because we don't have that information on hand, but we will look into that and see if we can bring you that information during another program. Thank you for calling. Again, the numbers to call: 1-800-327-448-3284, 616-1327, and the overseas line is 305-432-9744. Again, we're being joined this morning by the national nutritionist, Carissa Shillingford. And, we have been, Ms. Shillingford, we have been going around the island doing a lot of educational sessions at different facilities. That, of course, has been put on hold simply because of the current situation. How receptive would you say people are when when you present to them, like when you say you can only have what is it, 2 ounces of meat on your plate? How receptive are people when or one bala or one wing on your plate per meal? How receptive are people to that?
Well, yeah, persons are not very receptive to the idea of eating just one piece of chicken or just one balam. But at the end of the day, it's their health and it's their decision to choose to eat whatever among they want in terms of meat. Because when you say to a person that a tin of tuna or a tin of sardine is supposed to share for uh, two adults, they find that highly impossible because they are accustomed, and I guess habits are very hard to break. So they are accustomed of eating, and then one adult eating a tin of tuna or a tin of sardine, and they find that difficult to make that change. But in the interest of your health, it is to your benefit to cut back, because just looking at the tin of tuna and the tin of sardine, when you look at the salt content, it is not wise for one person to be eating an entire tin of tuna or sardine.
Because I remember we've been to a few sessions, and every time you say that, people say, "What? One bala?
Yeah.
What am I? What can I do with one bala?" But again, we're just promoting healthy eating, healthy lifestyle. We have another caller on the line. Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, good morning. My name is Carly. I'm a nutritionist by training. I have a question for the nutritionist. When you talk about taking a lot of more chicken, could you elaborate a little bit when you say taking a lot of more chicken? Because we don't want to have people taking it. What we want to avoid is the fried food and stuff like that. But if we're taking like lean chicken, so can you just elaborate a little bit more on the consumption of chicken? And also, I'd like you to stress a little bit more on the water intake because we know that water flush out toxins in our body. So can you just elaborate a little bit more on it for us, please? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, caller.
Okay. Well, yes, we promote persons to encourage persons to eat lean meat. That means you remove any excess fat or visible fat from the meat. In terms of consumption, a fry or bake chicken, the weight of it is more than an ounce. And persons, when you say do not eat a lot of fried foods, but at the end of the day, an excessive consumption of protein has its effects on the body. So therefore, you recommend that you limit the amount that you take. So persons are accustomed of eating a thigh and a drumstick, you bring that down to a thigh or just a drumstick with your meal.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Caller, go. All right, we seem to have lost that caller. Okay, so she also said again to re-emphasize the water, the intake of water. So
Right.
if you, we just want to drill that home. I know you spoke about it at the top of the program about hydration and drinking water and about flushing, but just to bring home the point once again.
No, I mean, water is important. Water is important for every process in the human body, as well as just the simple basic activities that we carry out at home. But for water, we normally recommend that persons drink at least, or ladies or the females drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. And that is just simple plain water, not including those that you get in other food. And for the male, at least 10 glasses. And that would be drinking at least 4 bottles of the 500 milliliter Topito water a day.
All right, thank you so much for that. We have another caller on the line. Caller, go ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I understood what she's saying about the sardine and the amount of meat someone should take in. But for someone that in the gym, for example, a bodybuilder is supposed to eat a certain amount of protein per body weight. Can she explain that for me, please, about a bodybuilder?
All right, thank you, caller.
Okay. Okay. Someone doing sports or physical activity, or especially building, would require more protein because you have the wear and tear of the muscles and to help for reparation of the muscles. But a person that is an adult male female only need like about 60 grams, and at the end of the day each food, while the protein, the milk and the beans are the rich sources of protein, your fruits, your vegetables as well gives you protein. So therefore there is nothing that says that you need or necessarily need 2 pieces of meat on your plate because you're a bodybuilder. Because from your rice you will get protein, from your chicken you will get protein, from the vegetables that you eat you will get protein. But the better quality and the more readily available protein is found in the meat and in your beans. But that doesn't say that you have to eat 3, 4, 5 pieces of fish to get that protein, and your meal is broken down into 5 different meals a day.
All right, thank you for that. Someone's on the overseas line. Go ahead, caller. Good day.
Hello, Sheena. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Good.
Just in my isolation.
I wish
Yeah,
everyone would take
and
that example from you.
after 6 weeks, I went out. I think on the day before yesterday, just
Oh,
to go to the shop and back.
okay, great.
Yeah. A special good morning to my country lady. Hello, Carissa.
Hi, good morning.
How are you? You all right?
Yes.
Okay, good, good, good. Yeah. I have a few things for you, Carissa. Um, like we have diabetics, and we're talking about the intake of sugar. Yeah? We have diabetics where we always advise that they should not take sugar and so on and so forth. And would you think that honey is an alternative in terms of sugar? And if yes, why? And also, some of the diabetics probably has been constipated because probably they're not probably eating the proper balanced diet or for whatever are the contributing factors to that. But you find doctors and chemists and so on prescribe things like lactulose and laxido for them. Those diabetics, with the high with the high possession of sugar that contains in the lactulose and the laxido, do you think that is very healthy for them to take? Also, um, we have some people who are probably not too healthy. They need to put on some weight. They are underweight. They are malnourished or something, and they prescribe some supplement for these people to drink. But those supplements also contain high level of sugar. And I've seen in my life where people who are diabetic or pre-diabetic or borderline are using these supplements which doctor prescribed for them. Is that a concern you have to advise people? Thirdly, in closing, um, the water. Would you say that the water is better to drink than the pure orange juice where we get vitamin C? That is just something I just want to just ask this morning to you. And you have a wonderful day. You're very eloquent, Carissa, and you're doing a fantastic job. I'm very proud of you as somebody from the Northeast as well. You have a good day.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you, sir.
caller.
Okay, the water is better than the fruit juice in the sense that when the grapefruit, the orange is processed, the fiber that normally slows the absorption of the sugar in the body is lost. And now for every single process your body undergoes, it needs water. So even when you drink that juice, it has to extract the water from the juice in order for it to do it processes. So water is basically the ideal drink for diabetics and for everybody else. There's no need for us to be making juice, and your vitamins, your minerals, you get them better just eating your fruits in its natural state than instead of being processed. Because it's always lost from the time that you harvest and you get it to your plate. All some of your vitamins are lost when you go now and you process again to make the juice. You have some being lost. So it is better to take your fruits in its natural state. As for the medications or supplements or so that the um, persons recommend for diabetic, I am not familiar with it. I do not know the sugar content or what exactly is in there, and then the full reasoning behind, because I mean it's a give and take situation. If the medication is there to aid the person, to help them, then they can take it, but I guess under whatever recommended guidance by the doctor. But as I said, I'm not familiar with it.
All right, thank you so much. We have another caller on the line. Caller, good day. Okay, we've lost that caller. Again, the numbers to call 1-800 327 448 3284 616 1327, and the overseas line 305 432 9744. We're speaking today with the national nutritionist Carissa Shillingfoot. So the caller asked, oh, we have another caller. Let's take that caller very quickly. Caller, good day. Go right ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. I have blood clot in my food, and I'm not supposed to eat fruits and vegetables. So tell me what I can eat. Thank you.
All right, thank you, caller.
Well, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not sure why, if you have bed sores, why you blood clot. Oh, sorry, blood clot. Okay, in that case, with the blood clot, it's the restriction or limiting of the intake of vitamin K, which is what you'll find in most green vegetables. But it is not a matter of you cannot take it. It's a matter of how much do you take, because the vitamin K that is present, your body need it. So you still need to take in some form of green vegetable. But as I said, it's the amount that you have to take in. And to be able to advise you, I would need to see you in person. So if you have any time, you can always drop in at the Ministry of Health. I am on fourth floor, government headquarters, and I can help you out with your diet in terms of your vegetables and fruits consumption.
All right, thank you so much, caller. We have another caller on the line. Caller, good day. Caller, go right ahead. Good day. Hello, go ahead, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Very good program. Your nutritionist did really divulge some very important information about sugar. I have heard that over and over again. It is it weakens the immune system. Um, could could she tell us what is the different impact on the immune system between the use of sugar and the use of honey?
Okay, thank you, caller.
Okay, basically, honey and sugar, they are both processed product. But honey, in comparison to sugar, the amount of sugar that you will have to take in to get the same sweet taste if you use the honey is in excess. And like I said, when you Your If we were never introduced to sugar, our body would not be asking for it. And as I said, any excess consumption of sugar, and I say fast food as well, it suppresses the immune system because it becomes like a foreign object to the body, and the your white blood cells start fighting against it, so much so that when you get a bacteria and a virus, the white blood cells might see it just as something normal, so they don't do anything. And then you find that your body response is very slow to any infection or any disease. So then again, sugar suppresses your immune system. Now the honey on a whole have certain properties, and then you are using less honey. I'm not sure what is the effect of it on the immune system, but I'm aware that it has some um, properties that are very good for the body. Whereas you will use like 2 tablespoons to sweeten a cup of tea, you just need a teaspoon or less to sweeten that same cup of tea to give you that same sweet taste.
Thank you so much. We have another caller on the line. Okay, we've lost that caller. And again, we're here with the nutritionist. Another caller on the line for you, Carissa. Caller, go right ahead. Good day, caller. You're live.
Yes, good day. Interesting program, I must say. I would like the nutritionist to elaborate a little about the intake of egg daily or weekly, because sometimes people do give their advice on how many eggs should be taken a day or weekly and so forth, and based on cholesterol level and so forth. Thank you.
All right, thank you, caller. Actually, so the caller was asking about the intake of eggs. How many eggs should you consume daily or weekly?
Okay, so the consumption of eggs, basically we recommend 3 eggs per week. I mean, if you're doing a scrambled egg, you will take 2 eggs to do that because some is always left behind in the pan depending on the pan that you use. So basically, recommend 3 eggs per week. And the thing about it is that egg is normally linked to high cholesterol. And while studying, they were saying no, no to egg for cholesterol. But then at the same time, before I completed my studies, they were told that the egg has certain property that breaks down the cholesterol before it reaches into the body. And therefore, while that is not so clear, and each person's body react differently, the consumption of egg in excess is not necessary.
Okay, thank you for that. We have another caller on the line, on the overseas line. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Caller, try us again. And as promised, we do have the Deputy Director of the Dominica Social Security. He's on his way. He'll be here shortly. Augustus Etienne. We have another caller on the overseas line. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, good morning, Carissa. Um, we're typically a high carbohydrate society culturally. Um, there are new studies that show that probably uh, carbohydrates are just as bad as sugar. In your view, do you think that we have more of a problem with sugar or carbohydrates in our society right now?
Thank you, caller.
Um, in my opinion, um, I think we have a problem with both because at the end of the day, if you sit and you eat just a plate of dashing or a plate of rice, the excess is broken down into sugar and the rest stored as fat into the body because we overconsume almost every product you could come across or food item has sugar, and I mean we consume a lot of sugar. While for in the line of persons with diabetes, we would advise that you take the ground provision. But if you're going to sit as a diabetic and eat a plate of dashing or a plate of yam or a plate of banana, then you're going to find yourself having issues the same way as if you were taking in 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces, tablespoons of sugar. So it is important that persons pay in mind to the amount of carbohydrates or carbs, especially the processed products, because all of that just turns into sugar and is stored eventually as fat into the body, leading to obesity, leading to non-communicable diseases.
All right, thank you so much for that. Let's, if we have a final caller, let's take our final call. Okay, so let's take our final caller for the nutritionist because Mr. Etienne is with us. Hello, caller. You're live. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Just that, okay, I had a daughter who was hospitalized for the H. pylori bacteria, but she was hospitalized twice for it. But the thing is, what I'm more getting like is, don't give her this, don't give her that. But I don't know if you could give me like a diet or something that you know that I could give her.
All right, caller. Thank you much.
Okay, in order that I can help you, I suggest that you come down to the Ministry of Health. I am on fourth floor, extension 266 3061. So you can give me a call and make an appointment, and I can arrange to do a meal plan for your child.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, you would have noticed that the time is running away, but we need to get Mr. Etienne in this morning. So thanks to all those who called in to speak and to comment and ask questions of the nutritionist. But we do have Mr. Augustus Etienne, who is the Deputy Director of the Dominica Social Security, joining us this morning. Good day, Mr. Etienne, and welcome.
Good day, Ms. Harry, and thank you for having me. Good day to all the listeners. And let me just start off by commending you, Ms. Harry, and the Health Promotion Unit for all the public education that you're delivering at this time.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for that. Thank you so
Welcome.
much. All right, Mr. Etienne, everybody is concerned about this, and it's my concern too. If I have to stay home for an extended period of time, do I still get paid? Do I still have to make contributions? What is the law? What is the rubric for you all as far as that is concerned? Because we have a lot of people who have already probably been home for a couple of weeks. They were probably forced to take vacation days
Okay.
and that kind of stuff. So tell us, give us a little insight on that.
Okay, so just to say that the Social Security system exists to provide income protection to persons. It is a contributory system that allows persons to make a contribution from their salaries and wages on a monthly basis into the fund so that at some future date, when their ability to work and earn their income is affected, they will have a source of income from the program. So the program exists to give income to contributors when their earning ability has been disrupted, as it will happen in this particular circumstances as we're dealing with COVID-19. A number of situations can arise with COVID-19. The system provides a range of benefits towards which the contributions that are paid all go. And those benefits are defined in the law. The most obvious one that we can speak about in the case of COVID is the sickness benefit that we have existing provisions for. That if a person is medically certified to be ill with any condition, including COVID-19, and the person's contributions have been paid on a regular basis, the person has been insured with the system for at least 3 months, 13 weeks, and the person's contributions for at least 8 weeks or 2 months of the last 13 weeks or 2 months out of the last 3 months have been paid, that person could qualify for sickness benefit. We have situations where if a person is on vacation leave, the person is at work, of all the tests that the person is at work, and the person is entitled to receive their salary as normal. If, as we have COVID present now, somebody were to be medically required to be quarantined for observation to determine whether in fact they have been infected with the virus, we expect that somebody in the health system would indicate that this person was required to be quarantined or to self-isolate. And that person, for all intents and purposes, would qualify for sickness benefit as the other person would have been medically certified to be ill from some other condition. We also have the situation where, because of especially in the hospitality industry, where there has been a lot of cancellations of hotel reservations, cancellation of cruise ships and all of that, where these persons, their workplaces would probably be operating very minimally and therefore would not be able to keep all of them at work. Some of them may have been laid off. Some of them might have been asked to take their vacation leave. And if they take vacation leave, the employer is responsible for paying them. Some of them might just be laid off because there is no activity taking place for now. They have not made them redundant, but because of the situation, we have to suspend operations for a while. And these are the ones, I guess, that are more of concern, what is going to happen to them. I want to say that the Social Security does not currently provide what is referred to as unemployment benefit, which is something that a person like that would be entitled to. But we recognize that these times are extraordinary times, the situations are different. And so as the main pillar of Dominica's social protection system, as an institution, we have been contemplating what support we can provide to persons who might find themselves in that situation. And in fact, a lot of the private sector employers, Employers Federation, DEIC, Hotel and Tourism Association, everybody is calling to find out what provisions are in place. But to say that the existing provisions are really the sickness benefit provisions.
Mhm.
But in addition to that, we are now looking to see if and how, to what extent we might be able to provide some level of support, albeit limited, to those persons whose work might be affected because of COVID-19. The final details will be communicated to the public as soon as that has been approved by our board and even sanctioned by government, because everything we do at Social Security is done in accordance with legislation. And for us to be able to entertain that payment to those persons who have been displaced as a result of COVID, not medically certified to be sick, not made redundant in the strict sense of the word, but who have been out of work and therefore will not be able to get their salary, what level of support we can provide. But that is not something that is provided for in law currently. We're just looking to see how we can offer some level of support, and it will be a limited level of support. The final details of that will be communicated once that is finalized.
Of course, definitely. No, like you said, it's new territory for
Yes.
everybody. But
Yes.
if Social Security is attempting to take these drastic steps as far as finances are concerned, will that affect those who already receive contributions like pensioners?
Well,
Will their payoffs will that be affected at all?
not at all, not at all. And that is the reason I'm saying that the benefits that we are mandated to provide are already enshrined in law from the inception of the program. Sickness, maternity, employment injury, age pension, survivor's pension, invalidity pension, funeral grant. Those benefits will continue as normal. But this one we're dealing with is for people who are not qualified for any of those other existing benefits and cannot satisfy the required conditions as stipulated in law. But to recognize that these people have been displaced as a result of COVID-19, they will be out of pocket for a while, and what level of support we can provide. And we're going to try to do this without compromising the system's ability to continue to maintain the payment of the existing benefits that it was mandated to provide. We will recognize it's a limited amount of support we can give. We cannot give everybody what they would like to have, but it's just some level of support to bring relief in these times.
Definitely.
So our pensioners, for example, because their pensions are already in pay, in fact, we've already processed payments for the month of April, and the monies would be in their bank accounts. The people who might have difficulty accessing their benefits right away are people who probably would be submitting medicals for sick leave, because like everything else, we've closed our offices, we have to socially distance ourselves. Some of us are working from home, but if a medical were to be submitted today, we have to wait for us to get hold of the medical for us to process and eventually to pay. So people who claim for sickness benefit may have to wait for a couple of weeks while we are away under curfew. But then as soon as we get back to work, we will try to process those benefits to have those persons receive their payments. But our pensioners, certainly their benefits will continue. In fact, their payments have been in their accounts. Well, the monies have reached the bank accounts, and they can access their money anytime.
All right. So just to elaborate again on the fact that you are exercising the social distancing and so forth. So your offices are closed. to the
Are
public.
closed from Monday of this week. We will open on Wednesday for a brief moment to allow a few pensioners who collect their checks from our office to come and collect. But many of them still didn't come, and we understand why. And we were saying that because they're encouraged to stay away because they're most
Right.
vulnerable to the virus, that they will probably send a child, a grandchild to collect the pensions for them. And we may contemplate opening maybe another Wednesday next week or week after
Okay.
to give them access to the benefits.
Okay, but I'm sure you'll make that.
Certainly, we will
Definitely.
inform them via the media of what is going to happen.
All right, fantastic. So if you have a question for the Deputy Director of the Dominica Social Security, we ask that you call 1-800-327 448-3284, 616-1327, or the overseas line, of course, 305-432-9744. Not very much time left in today's program, so of course the lines are open to you. So, Mr. Etienne, you did mention that you are taking steps to protect your staff as well. You know, I remember that the health promotion unit did come in and
Correct.
do a
Really.
session with you all. You know, what other steps have you taken besides closing? You know, how do you encourage your staff members to protect themselves and also just to stay motivated? Because it's so difficult right now if you tell somebody go work from home, and you know sometimes they probably don't even open the laptop and check an email or anything, but the country still has to function.
Well,
So
certainly,
how
yes,
do you
certainly.
encourage people to do that?
So we've kind of provided our staff while we were at the office with the protective gear, gloves, face masks, the hand sanitizers, and the sanitization of people as they come into the office. While they are out at home, we encourage them to pay heed to all of the advisories that are being published by yourselves, the Ministry of Health, pronouncements made by the Honorable Prime Minister. We encourage them to stay at home if they have no reason to be out, stay at home, maintain the social distance. And those of them who are able to work remotely from home, to ensure that they do that because we expect you to pay them while they're at home. So to ensure that our services for customers can continue unabated. So we take pride in what we do at Social Security. Some people believe we like to take the money and don't like to pay, but it's not true. We really like to pay because when we pay, we see how satisfied or happy our people are, especially our pensioners. And our pensioners really sing our praises all the time. They tell you thank God for Social Security. They know that they can count on it. And so we have the motivation, we have the impetus for us to continue to do what we are doing, even in the face of COVID-19. And we just want to encourage everybody in Dominica to heed the advisories being given because this thing is very serious. You do not know who has the virus. And so the best you can do is to stay away as much as you possibly can. And if it is not at your home and you stay away, there is no way it should come to you. But if you are out there, you never know when and how you can contract it. So all of us are in this risk together, so we just want to encourage everybody to just pay heed, observe the personal hygiene protocols that have been issued, and maintain the social distance as prescribed.
All right, we have our very first caller from Mr. Etienne. Caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good
Almost good afternoon.
Good day.
As I'm a janitor there, I've been in a company for 5 years now. There is no work. They are working at their home. How do I get paid? I would like to ask this question, please. When May comes, I'm not working right now, and the people I was working with, they're at home. Do I apply for salary when the month comes in May?
We don't pay salaries to people, we pay benefits to people, and people have to qualify for benefits. As I'm saying, if you are sick, you would qualify for sick leave. But I suppose you're saying you're not at work for now. No. So you're looking at for some kind of compensation, some level of income replacement support for the period that you're not working and not going to get salary. This is not a benefit, this is not an entitlement. We are looking to see if we can provide some level of support to persons like yourself. But we will have to get evidence that your employer is not operating and how long you will not be getting salary for and how much we might be able to pay you as support during that period of time. But it's not your salary we're going to pay you, it's just to provide you with some level of income replacement support to give you something rather than nothing. But this is not an entitlement you have because that is not a benefit that is enshrined in the Social Security law even as it is now. But we recognize that we may need to offer some level of assistance to persons like yourself in these times. And so we are deliberating on that, but the final details will be made public probably as sometime next week once that is finalized and approved by the necessary authorities.
All right, I hope that clarifies your concern, caller. We have another caller on the line. Okay, so anything else you'd like to, any other information you'd like to present to the public, Mr. Etienne? We're getting close to the end of today's program.
Well, just to remind them that the importance of paying Social Security, because as I said, Social Security is a contributory program. Self-employed persons, people who are working and avoiding and evading the payment of contributions. You never know what can happen when things can happen, as COVID-19 has proven to us all. Here we are trying to take on board the possibility of making payments to persons who are displaced because of COVID-19, not qualifying for any of the existing benefits, but recognizing a need to provide some support. If you are not a contributor to Social Security and you're in that situation, that help will not be extended to you because we cannot use contributors' money to pay people who are not contributing. So it is very important for you to pay your contributions now and in the future because you never know when you will be affected and how you will be affected. But certainly if you're part of Social Security, there is always something to be had from the system, from the program, when you find yourself in a situation.
All right, thank you so much. I believe the lines are open. Let's wait for a couple more callers if we can get a couple callers through. Caller, go right ahead. You're live.
Mr. Etienne. Hello?
Yes, go ahead, caller. Can I ask you to turn down your radio, please?
Okay, I am a pensioner. I'm out of the country. How can I get in touch with you guys so I can send you a note that I'm out of the country?
You can send an email to our email address, dss@dss.dm.
Let me see that.
DSS
DSS
at dss.dm.
at dss.dm
or contact at dss.dm.
or contact contact
At
at d
dss.dm. And I suppose you're asking this
dss.
in relation to your life certificate form that you're supposed to complete.
No, I'm a pensioner, and they said every March I supposed to come
That's
and
what I'm
report
not
to
talking
you.
about. You're supposed to complete a life certificate form.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you? Where you are currently? Do you have access to internet? You can download a form from the website, complete it,
Yes,
have it notarized, and send to us.
because I went to you guys' website and you guys said it's
It's down for
temporarily
maintenance.
out of service.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I have to look into that to make sure it's up and running, so people like you can access it.
Okay then.
Well, in the meantime, you
that's
can send us the email to those email addresses I just gave you.
DSS at DSS
Dot
DM,
.dm
right?
or contact
me
at dss.dm.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
All right. Thank you so much, caller. We have another caller on the line. Caller, go ahead. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, caller.
I would like to find out if your employer is operating on a skeleton scale and you're not part of that skeleton scale. Do you still have to pay Social Security?
Social security, no. Social security is payable when you earn salary.
Okay.
So if you operating on skeleton staff, you are working fewer hours, fewer days, you will get some portion of your earnings. Contribution will have to be paid on the earnings that you're receiving in that
If
time.
you are not part
No,
of
but if you are not
skeleton-
earning, if you are not receiving any earnings for the time being, contributions will not be payable for that period.
Okay, thank you so much.
And also, if you are in receipt of short-term benefit like sickness also, for the period that you're in receipt of that benefit, contributions are not payable either.
Okay, thank you so much and stay safe.
You're welcome.
Right,
And
thank
you
you.
do the same.
Thank you so much, caller. And so, Mr. Etienne, we have another caller. Let's take the final caller for Mr. Etienne. Final caller, you're live. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to find out something. I've been working in government off and on before, and then I did a session of like 12 years straight, and I'm no longer employed with government. So I no longer contribute, but I want to find out when I get old, will I still be qualified for my social security?
Whenever you were engaged, whenever you've worked, you made contributions, and we hope that you may get an opportunity to work again before you actually become pensionable. And when you do become pensionable, yes, you will qualify for a benefit. What you will qualify for will depend on how many contributions you would have accumulated while you were working, but you will get something. So when you get to 65 down the road, God willing, if you would have paid contributions cumulatively for at least 10 years or 500 weeks of contributions, you would qualify for a pension for the rest of your life. If you fall short of the 500 weeks, cumulatively, you would qualify for a lump sum payment, a one-time payment.
So
But you would get
let me ask you, sorry. 10 years, 12 years straight would not qualify me for the so many weeks you just mentioned?
Yes, I said minimum of 10 years. So if you have 10 years cumulatively and you accumulate 500 weeks, because you may not necessarily have worked 10 years straight or 12 years straight, but there might have been gaps in between. But every month for which you pay contributions, we break it down into weekly amounts. So if you pay contributions for an entire year, you would have accumulated 52 weeks. So if you had 12 years cumulative employment, yes, you should have more than 500 weeks to qualify for the pension.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
You're welcome. But anytime you work again, you need to continue paying contributions so that you can get a better benefit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And of course, Mr. Etienne, we encourage those who are self-employed because we notice that a lot of people who are self-employed, they tend not to pay social security, or even those in industries like the construction industry.
Yes, indeed.
You know, we notice a lapse in that as well. So we encourage that, right?
So by all means, a lot of people register as self-employed to pay contributions, but they are not disciplined enough to maintain the payment consistently and regularly. And some of them fall short at the end of the day, and it's sad that this is so. But we really encourage everybody who is working for Pay in Dominica, small as it is, to put that money aside, because you never know what will happen tomorrow. And if you're not doing it for yourself, do it for your loved ones who you are responsible for. The self-employed people, you have a wife, you have children, you have parents who are depending on you. Pay the contribution so that even if you don't live to enjoy it yourself, your dependents will be able to get something after you would have gone.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Augustus Etienne, the Deputy Director of the Dominica Social Security. I know other people have lots of questions. We've seen the phone lines blowing up again, but we do have to come to the end of today's program. Now, Mr. Etienne did provide some email addresses, so I'm assuming that if you have a pressing, a burning question that you'd like to ask, feel free to contact them via the email addresses dss@dss.dm or contact@dss.dm. So shoot them an email. I'm sure they'll be happy to provide you with whatever information they can. We are at the end of today's program. We want to also thank the nutritionist for coming on today, Carissa Shillingford. And again, Mr. Etienne, thank you for, just sacrificing some of your time to come through. We want to also remind our listeners on all the radio stations. Of course, we have listeners on Kyrie FM, Q95 Vibes Radio, and Voice of Life Radio, in addition to DBS Radio. We want to remind you about the importance of social distancing. We still notice the queues outside of business places, and people are still stuck right up against each other. Please, if you absolutely have to go to the bank or credit union today, please take 3 steps back from the person in front of you. We have to practice that. If you don't have to go, then don't go. Apparently, it feels like now everybody feels they have something to do in Roseau, and the town is still buzzing with people. If you do not need to move about, we are asking you to stay home. Please remember there is a curfew in effect from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. during the week, but of course we're heading into the weekend, so that means the country will be on complete shutdown as of 6 p.m. this evening. The country will be shut down, so there should be no movement of people. But we are asking, if you have to be out until 6 o'clock today, practice the social distancing. A lot of people are wearing masks. We're asking you, if you're wearing the mask, wear it properly, because there is no point in having a mask on your face trying to protect yourself and it's not on properly. Some people wearing it inside out, upside down. They don't bring it all the way under their chin. Or after they put it on, they bring it below their chin or on top of their head for them to talk to people. That means it's contaminated. That means it needs to go in the trash and you need to get yourself a new one. Stop bringing the mask below your chin to talk or to drink or to do whatever. If you bring it below your chin, you have to take it out and you have to toss it. It is no longer useful to you. So we're asking, if you're wearing the masks outside, please wear them properly. Again, another thing that we've been seeing is the use of gloves. People are using gloves, they touch everything, then they use the same gloved hands to eat. Or they use the same gloved hands, they touch their phone, they touch this. They don't sanitize, they don't. We encourage washing hands. That is your best and primary protection. Wash your hands with soap and water. Again, we're asking those who have been asked to remain in self-quarantine, please follow the advice that is given. Heed the advice of the Ministry of Health. If you are asked to remain in quarantine for it's 14 days, 14 days can save your life or somebody else's life. That is, to me, 14 days is nothing when it comes to saving somebody's life. We ask you to just please heed that advice and stay home as much as possible. That is how we can flatten the curve. That is how we can curb the spread of this coronavirus. Once again, thank you to all our listeners. We will be back on Monday at 11 o'clock. And we encourage you to tune in. We know that you have lots of questions. We try our best to answer all of those questions. But of course, you can always make a phone call if you don't get your question on the air. If you don't get to ask your question, make a phone call. Call the Ministry of Health. We'll do our best to answer that. Don't call the hotline for those questions. I am going to encourage this again. Do not abuse the hotline. The hotline is for people who may feel ill, who might suspect they have been in contact with somebody who has COVID-19, who have some concerns about COVID-19. These people, we're asking you to call the hotline. There is still 911 if you had an accident and you need help from the fire and ambulance service. There's still 911. You can call 911. They'll help you. But the hotline is coronavirus, for everything associated with coronavirus, for real concerns about coronavirus. Let me give you those numbers very quickly. 448-2151, 448-2153, 448-2156, 611-4325, and of course you can call 1-800-219. Thank you again, Mr. Augustus Etienne. Thank you again, Carissa Shillingford, and thank you once again to our listeners.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, everybody, and stay safe.